Hello, welcome. This is our video number 3 in our series on how to create our door for our assignment for this week in our class. And so what we did in the previous videos is came up with a determination of how big the door is going to be in order for it to fit that specific door size. And the door size we're working on is 36 by 80 inches. And what I like to do for this class, and what I like to have everybody do for this class, is build that door with these specific dimensions at first, but then with the expectation you're going to model your door in such a manner, you're going to put those embellishments into the door in such a manner that if we were to change the dimensions on the door, make it smaller than 36 inches, like maybe 32 or 34, or bigger, maybe up to 42 inches, that we can do so and still maintain the symmetry with the door. So, in other words, if we want to make a bigger door, or make a configuration for a bigger door, all we have to do is change those two dimensions, our width and our height of the door, and everything should fall into place, and we should do no more in the way of additional editing after that. It's all about being effective and efficient with our modeling, to make sure that we put things together with the intent and the symmetry involved, that when we do make changes like this, that everything falls in place with as little in the way of updates that we need to make. So we're going to design our door with that in mind. So let's do this. Let's take out of our assembly, if you have that assembly available, and I will make these assembly components available on the website and show you how to put it together in the last film. But let's go ahead and open up this door. If you click on that door, right click on it, go to open part. And there's our door. And let's look at the basic elements of the door. The sketch is driven by our sketch, 35 3/4 of an inch across the top and then 79 inches tall. That looks good. We're going to go ahead and rebuild that. Let's right click on the base extrude and see what that looks like. It's a mid-plane extrusion, so you can see it goes as much in front as it does in the back. Thickness of the door is 1 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to be using that front plane as a reference plane where we mirror our features from the front of the door to the back of the door. So that's in pretty good shape. Let's go ahead and put our doorknob in. Not necessarily a doorknob, but the hole for that doorknob. There's a couple ways we can do this. There's one way where we click on that face. We're going to go ahead and do a sketch, and we're going to draw a circle in here. Now we could do this with a reference geometry by putting in some center lines from one, a horizontal one and a vertical one. Or we could just dimension that hole from the bottom and from the side. So I believe this dimension is going to be 35.875 inches. You'll have to check the website for that. And then this dimension is going to be from this side. If I remember correctly, it's 2 3/4 of an inch. And the last thing we need to do is have a dimension on that circle itself, which is going to be 2. And that defines where that hole is going to be. As long as we have that sketch active, let's go do an extrude cut. Instead of blind, we're going to do through wall. And bang, got a doorknob hole in there. If you want to create a doorknob in there, you're welcome to do that for extra credit. Again, anything that we design in SolidWorks in regard to extra credit, as long as it adds to the model itself, if it adds to the integrity of the design, then that can definitely be considered for extra credit. So now we're going to about ready to put our panels in. I went ahead and measured our panels, and if you'll look at the website, you'll notice that we have a small panel on top, a medium-sized panel in the middle, and a medium-sized panel below that. And these things are separated very specifically by some dimensional lumber, what appears to be dimensional lumber in our pressed fiber door. There's a specific distance from the top edge to where the panel begins, and from the left edge and where the panel begins, and between the two panels up here, and between the panels on either side. So you kind of want to keep that in mind. You don't have to do your door the same as I do, but it looks like it's dictated from the edge rather than the size of the panel itself. So keep that in mind when you're putting your door together. So what I like to do, and eventually we're going to mirror this door once, from one side of the door to the other. We're going to build the left side of the door first and then mirror to the right side. And then I'm going to take everything that's on the front of the door, all my panels on the front of the door, and then mirror it to the back of the door. So we're going to keep our symmetry in mind from the very beginning. So let's go ahead and start that. Let's go ahead and click in this face, go to sketch, and simply draw a center line right down the middle of the door. We're going to use this eventually as a reference, so when we model our geometry from one side of the door, it goes to the other side of the door. And you also have to remember too, since our origin's here in the middle, the front plane is not only in the middle of the door in this orientation, but in this orientation along that center line is also the right plane. So we can see the right plane here, and then our front plane is here. And of course our top plane goes right through the middle of the door too. So we're going to use these two references, both the front plane and the right plane, in order to take our features and put it on one side of the door or the other. So we can do this one of two ways. We can draw all of our geometry and do this as a sketch relation and take all of our sketch elements and mirror it on one side. I'll show you that option. Or we can take the features and use the plane and mirror it on the other side. And I'll show you that as the second option. So I think that's enough for this video. Let's go ahead and conclude this, and we'll pick this up in the next video, and we'll talk to you soon.